So some breaking news for you that has just been announced officially. There has been talk of this for a while over the last few days, but it is the fact that Sam Allardyce is going to be taking over and Slaven Bilic has been sacked as West Bromwich Albion manager. This is what West Brom have had to say, a very, very short statement. West Bromwich Albion have parted company today with head coach Slaven Bilic. As well as the assistant coaches and first team coach as well has also left the club immediately. The Baggies are currently 19th with 7 points after 13 fixtures. Albion would thank Slaven and his coaching staff for the achievements of the promotion last season and wish them well in the future. The club is going to make no further comment at this time. So a typical statement. Now, Big Sam is the man that is rumoured to be coming in. They're having conversations at the moment and they hope to have him in charge, not just as manager, but actually in the charge of the game for Sunday's clash against Aston Villa, which would be a derby and a very, very big game for West Brom. Now, Sam Bilic, for me, had a great season last season. He got them promoted. They finished runners-up behind Leeds, and they come back. First season, he was in charge. He got them promoted, which is exactly what they wanted. He did great. He brought in some really, really good players, and likes of Pereira had a great season, and they brought in some really, really interesting players, and really had a fine season. This season, it has been tough. And Bilic has been charged already for improper conduct against Everton in the 5-2 defeat, and it has been poor. Only one win this season in the Premier League. That came against Sheffield United, who are this season's whipping boys, if you will. And they've also picked up 4 points from draws, including a 3-3, that great game against Chelsea where they were 3-0 up and ended up drawing the game. They should have won that game. A 0-0 with Burnley, a 1-1 rather with Brighton, and then that last night a 1-1 draw with Manchester City. Great point, but it wasn't enough to save his job. And they've had some big defeats. They've had that 5-2 at Everton. They had a 3-0 at home to Leicester on the opening day. And then recently a 5-1 defeat at home to Crystal Palace. But besides that, they've been struggling to score goals. If you have a look, besides that 3-3, the last time that they scored more than 2 goals was that 3-3 all the way back in September against Chelsea. So they have really, really found it hard to find the back of the net. One of my subscribers, Sam, used to talk about worried that they would struggle to score goals, and he was hoping that they'd bring in somebody of good calibre before the transfer window shut, and that's going to be really, really tough. But Sam knows what he's doing. If there is one man you put your house on that you keep West Brom up, it is Sam Allardyce. So Sam has had a very, very good career, as you all know. He's done what has been asked of him basically in 99% of the jobs, which is keep them up. His last job was at Everton, of course, and then before that he kept up Crystal Palace, and then he had that England stint where it all went wrong very, very, very quickly for Sam, and he was only in charge of one game. Sunderland, he kept them up, and then he had other spells as well. He did really, really well at Bolton. That's where he had his longest spell, when he was in charge of Newcastle United and Blackburn and West Ham. He got West Ham promoted from the Championship, if I recall correctly. Listen, we all know what we're going to get from Sam. He's going to tighten things up. They're going to be compact. They're going to be hard to beat. They're going to be very, very, very unified. And that is what you get from Sam. Now, Sam will not be taking this job if he thought he could not keep West Brom up, and that is exactly what his aim will be. He hasn't had a big job really besides the Everton one. It's all been sized in around the sort of relegation for a while now. That's what he's been doing, and he is very, very successful at that. Now, we have a look at some of the games they have coming up. We've already spoke. The next home game on Sunday is against Aston Villa, the last game before Christmas. They'll want to make it 3 points there. The following that, 27th, they travel to Anfield, where I think, if I'm not mistaken, Allardyce won as Crystal Palace manager. So there is that. I mean, obviously they won't be getting a result there, and then following that, their next game after that, just before the start of the new year, 29th of December, will be Leeds at home, and a game against a former Championship foe, now both in the Premier League. And for me, I feel like that could be a big game as well, because for Sam, he'd be looking at their chucking the Liverpool game. There's 2 winnable games there for him, and he could get off to a very, very, very good start. Now, if we have a look at the Premier League as it stands, Sheffield United are on 1 point, as we know. Then we find West Brom on 7, Fulham on 8, Burnley on 9, Brighton on 10. Arsenal also in this relegation fight on 13, Leeds on 14, and then from 17th up there is Newcastle and Crystal Palace, and Aston Villa is on 18, and anyone above that I think will be fine, unless West Ham were to drop some really, really poor performances. Then and you look at those other teams above Villa, you've got Wolves and Manchester United, and then the Big Six and Southampton and Leicester. So yeah, it'll be fine, but above there. But they're only 2 points off safety, which would spur him on. Now, one thing that we need to consider is a lot of teams have played 12, and Burnley and Newcastle have played 11 in the bottom half. So they have played more games than everybody else, which could lead to them being further adrift. However, I feel that Sam is a great move, and he has done this countless times with loads of different teams, and he knows how to keep a side up and get them solid and get them working together, and he will be able to come in and do his job. With January just around the corner, he'll be able to bring in some players to create a bit more steel in the side, and I feel like this will be a very, very astute appointment by West Brom, because he is renowned for keeping them up. He has the credentials to keep them up, and with Sam what you're going to get. You're going to get a very, very, very well drilled side, and that is what I'm going to be expecting from West Brom. He needs to sort out everything. He needs to sort out the defence, but he also needs to sort out the goals. Callum Robinson has scored 3 goals. I think 2 of those were against Chelsea, and then it's 2, and then everyone else has got 1. With Hull Robinson Kanu on 2 and Conor Gallagher on 2, and everyone else has got 1. So that is where the problem lies. If he can get them scoring a few more goals, then I think he'll be able to keep them up. And you know what you get from Sam. And for me, this is a very, 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 very good appointment. Because you look down there, let's have a look at the bottom 5. Sheffield United, for me, are gone. Fulham, they got Scott Parker, very inexperienced manager. You say the same about Graham Potter. He's not been in this relegation threat properly, and that could come back to bite them, but I really do like him. And then Burnley have a very, very experienced manager in Sean Dyche. So for me, I feel like they've got the most experienced manager, and this will really, really, really work out. If you are a West Brom fan, let me know how you feel about this news that Slaven Bilic has been sacked by the West Brom hierarchy and will be replaced by Sam Allardyce. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe if you are new. I'd really, really appreciate it. I do lots of live streams on the channel, and some breaking news and things like that. So feel free to get involved if you did enjoy. But thanks so much for watching anyway, even if you don't stick around. Thank you for watching. My name is Mike, and I will see you soon.